NFC North podcast, our first full-on division show. I'm Lex Callahan, representing the Green Bay Packers. I'm joined by Mr. Corey Thompson, representing the Detroit Lions. Mr. Lavon Lane's representing them Chicago Bears. And our newest addition, my boy Dave, representing the Minnesota Vikings. Finally, we got a full-on division show, bro. Look at him. Look at him.
Let's go. Let's go.
You know what, boys? You know,
the whole division.
Dave, legitimately, thank you so much for hopping on board this endeavor. Welcome to the Spike, boys. Let's go ahead and get a Spike. The black and blue division.
Yes, sir.
The hardest division of football. Here we go. Salute.
Yes,
Spike.
Yes, salute, Spike.
Alrighty, boys and gals.
Thank you for having me, boys.
Oh, thank you for coming. Dude, you're one of my oldest friends, dude. We've done a lot of dumb shit together. We've seen a bunch of crazy shit, but now we're all old and retired. You know what I mean? I mean, no, seriously though, guys. We're currently at the end of week 4. There was some crazy games. A lot of weird shit went down. We're going to talk about our all week 4 games. And, you know, one of the things that are like the bread and butter of this show is obviously chemistry. And like Dave, it's really a blessing to have you on here because when me and Lavon originally started talking about the concept of the show, this is what the format was. We wanted a representative from every member of the, you know, the teams in our division. And like I said, it's a pleasure to have you here. And I'll actually put you on the spot, man. You guys went overseas to Ireland. You played the Steelers and my boy Aaron Rodgers, man. What's your take on that game? Obviously, it was a loss. I wasn't awake to watch it, but I'm just curious what your thoughts were.
Well, first off, I want to say, gentlemen, thanks for having me on the show. This is a really good opportunity for me to go ahead and chop it up and talk some sports with some other fellas that are just as passionate as I am about the NFC North. You know what I mean?
Sir.
Yes.
Been a diehard Vikings fan for quite some time, and I can tell you gentlemen are just the same. So we're gonna have some good little exchanges in the future here. So once again, thanks for having me, fellas. I'm looking forward to talking some shit with y'all.
Hell yeah, brother. Well, speaking of talking some shit, what'd you think about that game, brother?
Well, I'm gonna start off by saying this. First off, I kind of expected it, solely being because right now this is just a giant question mark at quarterback, and the fact that KOC is a quarterback coach, is an offensive-minded coach. I mean, this puts a real wrench in the machine. And right now Carson Wentz. We're having to fly with Carson Wentz. Now Carson Wentz, I'm sorry, he's got beaten for his job in every team he's been on.
Facts.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's bottom of the barrel. And honestly, he's pretty good. It's a good find for what we have now. Working such short notice.
He's definitely putting up points. For sure.
As far as he's putting up points, he's throwing the ball, which I don't mind. You know what I mean? As I was mentioning to you earlier on the phone. The Vikings, I think, right now they were in the process of showing the NFL their identity, but the fact that J.J. McCarthy goes down, our identity is gone. You know what I mean? We picked up Jordan Mason. He's a damn good tailback for to supplement what we need right now. Mm-hmm. But you can clearly tell that with the offense, the way it's stacked up, the way it's built, that's not the answer. We're a pass-heavy offense. We're not a run-heavy offense. You know what I mean? We got the big boys up front to do the blocking, but that's not what you're there for. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We have a top three receiving core in the league. There's no reason why, with a good system in place, there's no reason why we can't be successful with anybody in that slot. We did it last year with Darnold. Why can't we do it this year with Wentz? Mm-hmm. It's only his first game, you know what I mean? So I expect more from him as the season goes on. But for the last game in particular, you're going up with Aaron Rodgers that's playing this year with a chip on his shoulder because of all the things that went down last year with the Jets. So he's trying his damnedest to be very successful with the Steelers just to prove everybody out there that he still got it, I guess, so to speak. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But you can tell from his energy from that game that he was out there to prove a point. And us coming from the previous game against the Bengals where our defense just dominated through and through, I think it was kind of a wake-up call for KOC's defense for the Minnesota Vikings just to be like, hey, let's lock in because, this is what's going to happen over and over again this season if we don't lock in. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
What are we going to do against anybody else in the NFC North. Forget the Lions. I ain't going to talk about the Lions. We're not even ready for that. I'm dreading that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm tired of talking
you know
about
what I mean? The Packers, the Packers and Vikings have always had, I wouldn't say the biggest rivalry in NFC North, but
it's definitely number two. I would say it's number two for sure. Yeah, as much as I hate the Lions, for the Vikings are definitely number two. Sorry, go ahead. Continue, Dave. My bad. Didn't interrupt you.
You know what I mean? And then the Bears, as far as the Bears, I mean, they're on a hot streak now. You know what I mean? Williams is playing lights out. You got to admit, and you don't know what to expect of him from week to week now because you might not get the Bears from week 1. You're getting the Bears from week 4. You know what I mean? Week 4 Bears are pretty freaking dangerous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like I said, the black and blue division, once we all get into our own, which I think by mid-season we'll all be informed. You know what I mean? The Lions, I'm just going to stay off that for now. You know what I mean? But as far as the other teams, I think we're all getting to our own. Once the season gets rolling, we'll get to see where our strengths, our weaknesses are, and as far as the Vikings, what just to see what we're working with in Carson Wentz and going on through the season with this offense that we have now. You know what I mean? So it's up in the air, and I'm as baffled, and I don't have an answer just like anybody else in Vikings Nation right now. So all I can say is skull, and I'm hoping for the best, baby. You know what I mean? That's all I can say.
Dave, also great first introduction, by the way. Like a lot of people have come on this show and have not given it that straight. So bravo to you on that, dude. And to be real with you, dude, I love to hear your perspective of the Vikings right now because you're probably the most honest about where your team stands. Like you touched on the biggest, I think, problem with your team right now is you guys are struggling to find an identity, and that's huge, And so if we want to get specifics, talk about the Week 4 game, dude. You guys went up against OG Aaron Rodgers this past week. Like that was as close to Perk Rodgers I've ever seen. I saw him truck and get a block for the first time in like a decade, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on in Pittsburgh?" And so I will say Go ahead.
I watched him. I watched that game, and there was about a handful of plays that I watched him after the play was over, and he's sitting there signaling the first down, and he's going like this, and he's pumping the fist, and yet I haven't seen him like that in a long time. That just goes to prove my point. He's him on this Steelers team. I mean, DK Metcalf probably is just like,
dude, he's
I'm gonna get the bag.
He's a lead, bro.
Throw the ball up. You know what I mean? All you gotta do is, and especially in those two, that combination in that division, there's no reason why they shouldn't fucking run the board with the rest of the division.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With DK Metcalf, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, granted, you're kind of weak right now at the running back position.
I mean, hell, Gainwell looked good, though. Gainwell looked solid, man.
Look what he did.
Yeah.
He was a backup last year for the Eagles, and now what's his name goes down, and now he's a go-to guy. And this guy puts up 2 touchdowns, he has 31 fantasy points after putting up 3 at tops the past couple of weeks.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So look out for him. I think he's going to get plenty of touches. I mean, look what Breece Hall did in that Aaron Rodgers system with the Jets. You know what I mean? So Gainwell, I think, is definitely going to make some noise. And I think as a team, the Steelers are going to make some noise in their division, and they embarrassed us. They flat out embarrassed us. You know what I mean? We came off a huge win, and looking at statistics before the game, I was saying,
Dave, who did you guys play the week before this? Who'd you play the week before this again?
We played the Bengals.
The Bengals, that's right. Okay.
Bengals.
Okay, gotcha.
We destroyed them.
Yeah.
But granted, their quarterback went down too.
Yeah.
Which that's a whole other conversation.
We'll get there. Trust me, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. But as far as we felt we were flat on our ass. You know what I mean? They exposed us. As far because we came in there thinking, it's the Steelers. We shouldn't. We're looking past them. Whatever it is. We were supposed to dominate in the secondary where Aaron Rodgers he was forced to throw short slants.
Yeah.
That's what he was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. All these checkdowns and shit. Yeah.
And
he didn't do
we
any
had a couple of guys. He didn't do any of that. I mean, he was throwing up balls to DK Metcalf like there was no DB on the field. You know what I mean? And he embarrassed us. I mean, he was they were firing on all cylinders, and we just came out and we just got punched in the mouth, and we had no answer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Carson Wentz, I don't know what was going on. Yeah, he was kind of like crap in the beginning. Yeah, towards the end, he picked it up and started, doing showing himself as what he should be, for this team. But it's too little, too late.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we can't afford to put up 2 touchdowns, two picks every game. That's not what our offense is built on. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I mean, if that's the way, if the first half Carson Wentz, I'm scared that we're not gonna win 2 more games for the rest of the season. Second half Carson Wentz from last game, I see us fighting for like maybe the number 2 spot in the NFC East. You know what I mean? As long as you guys stay the way you are, if the Bears catch their win, there's nothing I can do. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing we can do about it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because it's a stacked team as well. The Bears are a stacked team.
They are.
And if Caleb Williams plays like the person that they thought they drafted, which he's shown signs of this season,
he definitely is. As much as I hate it, he is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, Dave,
and then
great
you got
takes.
Your Packers. You got your Packers with defenses. Your defense is coming into its own as well
Let me stop you right there, because I want to go there right now. Obviously, week 4, the Green Bay Packers went up against the Dallas Cowboys at AT&T Stadium, and that game was bullshit. Okay. I'm so fucking mad, right? So, obviously, and this is another thing, too, we're talking about identities. I guess that's the theme for this episode is identities. Now, I've seen the Green Bay Packers defense week 1 and week 2 fuck people up, right? This game, there was no fucking defense. Jeff Hafner was playing a soft-ass cover 2. The defensive backs are playing 10, 15 yards off. And it looked like Joe Barry came back. Like, it was abysmal. Like, it was the worst defensive performance I've seen from this team since we started the show. I'm not gonna lie. I think it might be. I think it legitimately might be the worst. Nobody has put 40 points on us like that, like, consistently. Like, and that's the thing is, like, don't get me wrong. I'm pissed at the outcome of the game, but goddamn, was it not the most exciting football game I've seen this season so far? I'm not gonna lie. It was score, field goal, score, all the way up until the end. And speaking objectively, there are several facets of this game. Like, and I think number 1 to blame is our special teams coach, Richt needs to go. He is the highest paid, I'm not sure if it's coordinator, but he might be the highest paid coordinator in the league. And our special teams consistently, he is. Look it up. I'm pretty sure. It's either in the league or out of all the special teams coordinators, he's the highest paid. But our special teams has been bottom 5 for at least the last decade. I think there was one year we jumped up to maybe 22 out of 32, but like that's still ass. That's not the standard, that I think the Green Bay Packers should, strive for. And one of the things I want to touch on, and I'll get to the game in a minute, is one of my biggest concerns about this Green Bay Packers football team right now is that we're playing like everything is guaranteed. Like Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst, our GM and our head coach, their contracts are not renewed for next season. So I assumed, in the offseason, there was a lot of things. We make this huge Micah Parsons blockbuster trade. We draft a receiver in the first round. Last offseason we picked up McKinney, made Josh Jacobs. Obviously, there's a lot of personnel differences with quarterback coaches and shit like that. But I thought that this is the like you were talking about Aaron Rodgers. I thought this was the get it together, run the table season, And what I'm not seeing from this team is any urgency whatsoever, like in the slightest. Like week 1 and week 2, we came out and we looked way more put together than we have in weeks 3 and 4. That's a huge concerning factor for me because I think that one of my biggest concerns also is that Jordan Love in this past game in week 4 was amazing. Like, dude, three tutties, 331 yards. Like, dude was lights out. 0 picks. He was lights out. He did everything that he could with the scheme that was presented to him. But, like, my biggest concern is that the scheme, especially when it mattered as far as, getting a stop on defense and going down and, taking the game away. Or, like, even in the first quarter, we're up, 13-0, and that field goal kick is blocked. All of a sudden, the momentum changes. I'm personally concerned because I feel like the mindset of our head coach is trickling down to our players. And, there's one of the things we talked about in the show, like, Corey, as much as I hate the fucking Lions, I'll say it again, I love Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell's a fucking leader, and I legitimately am tired of listening to my head coach talk. I've watched every press conference. I'm tapped in on Packers YouTube. I'm watching the OC press conference, the DC press conference, the Jordan Love press conference. I'm listening to Micah Parsons talk. And why do the players sound more passionate about this team than our head coach. Jeff Hafley speaks, and the way Jeff Hafley, our defensive coordinator, speaks is mesmerizing. And prior to this game, I think I heard a press conference from him that Thursday. He's talking about all these crazy concepts, compounding defenses, running a 3-4, bringing pressure from the outside. I didn't see any of that. I didn't see any of that. In fact, it was almost like his entire press conference was derived from being, a sense of misdirection for people who are going to look into intel into how we're going to play in Dallas. And, thank God we were able to match the points and come in and get a tie. But to be real with you, this was a fucking L as far as I'm concerned about the Green Bay Packers. The offense was the only people who won. Go ahead, Papa. What you got to say, man?
I didn't want to ask you a question. I know how you, like you talk about your head coach, this and another.
Mm-hmm.
And, how do you think his coaching style? Do you think he scared to coach or...
Look,
he just ain't got that.
I get what you're saying.
Like coach or just conservative or whatnot. What you think?
Hang on. I'm finna lecture you, Doctor. Hold on one moment. Go ahead.
And I got a question for you, Imorie, after you answer Corey's question.
Okay, cool.
I gotta ask.
Yeah, for sure. And this is the thing. This is why I'm so glad we have a division show. Yo, y'all come at me. I'll alternate. But I'll answer Corey's question first. Yeah, and so that's a perfect question, though, Corey. I think that's a perfectly fair and valid question. My concern is that I don't think the Packers organization is asking that question. You know what I mean? Matt LaFleur as a head coach has a very, very winning record. He's a great, he got to start in the league as an offensive coordinator for multiple teams. He's very good at this. But to be honest with you, I think that, and no disrespect, he's a handsome-ass guy. But I think that his overall demeanor and voice and tone are carrying him a lot farther than I think his merit has been. And that sounds fucked to say. A lot of Packers fans are going to disagree with me. But when you ask me, what do I think about him, Corey? I think this. I think that Matt LaFleur is one of the most reactive coaches in the National Football League. I think that he looks at his opponent across the field week to week, and he forces his players to change to accommodate his concerns. What he doesn't do is set a standard. Because when we talk about teams like the Detroit Lions, dude, Dan Campbell's like, fuck that. 4th down, go for it. Every goddamn time. And all of his players buy into that mindset. So when we talk about Matt LaFleur, and do I think he's scared coaching? No, I think that like Dave mentioned earlier in the show, Matt LaFleur is trying to save his job, and he's struggling to decide whether he wants to be a badass or a bitch. To be real, because the play calls that cost us a lot of the games in this, especially in this past week, he was way too conservative. On that last drive, in overtime, we're going down the field. Why the fuck are we throwing checkdowns for 3 yards with 52 seconds on the clock? Excuse me? No, we have, a lot of these receivers, and one thing I can say is our receivers are outperforming my expectations this season so far. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm going to be completely legitimate. But one of my concerns is he doesn't trust his players under certain circumstances. And unfortunately, I think that the root cause of that is that he doesn't trust himself in certain circumstances. I mean, how many clock management issues have we run into on this Packers teams? And I'm not just talking about this season. I'm talking about since Matt LaFleur took over. I'm talking about all of our NFC Championship appearances where we lost all of them. I'm talking about all the playoff games against big teams where we lost all of them. We've had Aaron Rodgers be a back-to-back MVP and still haven't made it to the bowl. That has to be something about like the trickle-down leader mentality. You know what I mean? And I think that, if we're just going to throw our cards on the table, I think that Matt LaFleur is confident that he's going to get re-signed next season. And I think that the number one thing the Packers organization needs is exactly what happened when Dan Campbell came into Detroit. We need a shakeup. Everybody's comfortable. And I'm starting to see, I think that if anybody gets re-signed in this offseason, it's our GM, Brian Gutekunst. He's obviously brought talent. He's obviously making cutthroat decisions. As much as I wear this Jair jersey, I do think cutting him was a smart decision economically. And I think that right now there's a disconnect because our GM is thinking about all of the opportunities. And I think Matt LaFleur is trying to decide which path to take. Which is something I don't like. I think as a head coach in the National Football League, like Dave mentioned, especially in the black and blue division, the toughest division in football, really, 4 teams with a lot of history, a lot of lineage and shit. I think that you can't pick and choose which era of your team you want to be. Right now, all of our teams are successful because we're rewriting them. Hell, Kevin O'Connell was the head coach from the fucking Minnesota Vikings last season, coach of the year. Coach of the year with Sam Darnold as a quarterback. 15-2, Dave, am I right? 15-2 last year?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Where the fuck, Mike?
That was almost better than Detroit. Yeah, I mean, I wish yeah, that's good.
And it's crazy.
Hey, when you got, I was just as shocked myself.
Go ahead.
What's that?
Go ahead, Corey.
So yeah, when you got Minnesota fans voting or people hating against Dan Campbell, everybody know clearly Dan Coach should have got Coach of the Year with all the injury he sustained and still managed to get that team to a winning season.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, but I don't buy into this stuff.
Didn't he win it the year before, though?
Yeah.
No, Dan Campbell, no. Oh, you talking about
no, he didn't.
Coach of the Year. Yeah, didn't Dan Campbell win it the year before? Did he not win Coach of the Year last year? He didn't. Interesting. Because fuck the Lions. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where...
Hold on.
I got a question for you.
Hold on, Dave.
I go back to what you were saying, Emery, because I saw a tweet, somebody posted on social media about after the tie against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you about your coach. They said LaFleur, the same man that had Aaron Rodgers kick a field goal. No, he had Aaron Rodgers on the sideline, kicked the field goal inside the 10, down by 8, with 2 minutes ago, with Tom Brady on the other side.
Exactly.
On the sideline.
Exactly.
They said he a Hall of Fame coach, but he coached like a coward.
He does. He does. And I'm not saying this like, dude, like do I think there's I did say. Do I think there's an inner demon, Matt LaFleur, where he can get his demons out of his decision making? Absolutely. But I don't think that we're going to see, like I told you guys last season, you guys asked me what my favorite performance from the Packer was last season. It was when he had to face adversity. Malik Willis came in weeks 2 and 3. Like I said, that was the best coaching I've seen from him in a long time. 2 clutch-ass dubs that sustained us in, to obviously making the playoffs again, and and that's another thing too, is like, I'm concerned that he's comfortable. That's nobody should be fucking comfortable. Like, you think that fucking Nick Sirianni from Philadelphia is comfortable? Fuck no. That's why they're beating everybody's ass. You know what I mean? Dude, you're not going to do anything. You know the number way to climb a tree? Make a dog chase you up that motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. I'm not really feeling about that. Vaughn, what you got? Sorry, you said you had a question. Hold on, Dave. 1 second.
So I had to ask you this, Emery. So, all right, you're not sure on the renewal of the contracts of your head coach and your general manager, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, which your general manager just made a huge trade with Michael Parsons, spinal.
Don't start that shit. Oh my God.
Yeah. So, hey, I got a whole video. I ain't post that yet.
I'm ready though. I'm ready.
Yeah,
Lavon, between you and me, I've already been shooting for Packers Bears week, buddy. Don't worry.
I get it.
So go ahead, finish your question now.
So here's the thing. How do you feel as a Packers fan? You won't have your top first round picks for the next 2 years. And Micah don't produce like you expect. How do you feel about that?
So here's the thing. I think that question is a little bit more complex in the way you phrased it, because if we're really going to talk about like Micah's benefits on this defense, sure, he's not getting the sacks. I think that especially like last week in week 4, there was a lot of regression defensively because, excuse me, sorry guys, I'm drinking beer. But I think in weeks 1 and 2, Micah's presence allowed for Rashawn Gary and Edward Cooper to make pressures. Micah's a target that every opponent looks at. They're like, okay, we got this guy on the line. We got to double team him. He is a focal point. I think that right now, Micah Parsons is doing exactly what I wanted him to do. Sure, I would love to see him be more aggressive like Aiden Hutchinson or Max Crosby or somebody like that. But I think that the way they're using him is the safest way to integrate him with him being so new to the Packers culture. You know what I mean? And like I said, dude, I think that Jeff Hafley defensively is still trying to figure out how he wants this defense to run. But like I said, I think that Hafley is a lot closer to being able to decide which version of the defense should be where. Now, this past week was probably the worst defense I've seen of him as our defensive coordinator. Outside of all the special team shit, like he was he was more like Matt LaFleur. He was conservative. We got a.
What about last time we beat y'all?
That was special teams.
Jeff Hafley?
Yeah, but
before.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah, but also we had so many fucking injuries, and like I think, and honestly, to be real with you, I think that when we got a high caliber player like Micah Parsons, it unlocked Jeff Hafley's scheme ability. And I think we're going to see a bounce back. I'm hoping that this bye week, gives us a lot of time for our players to get healthy. Obviously, I hope that, I know they're going to be watching nothing but film, especially without a game this week. Obviously, we're going to be watching all the Bears. You guys have a bye week this week too, right? And then Detroit plays, Vikings, you guys got a game. So I think this is a reconnaissance week. And to answer your question, though, Lavon, I don't feel bad about it. My concern is really what our cornerbacks do. Because prior to this past week, and this was a graphic I meant to send in the group, our three cornerbacks, Keyshawn Nixon, fucking Valentine, I can't remember which three it is. There's three QBs. As far as the performance grades, all of our cornerbacks had performed astronomically. Like, they were all top 20 performance as far as yards allowed, and our defense as a whole as far as points allowed. Like, we were firing on all cylinders. And my concern is whether or not these players can think for themselves outside of the scheme, because that level of being able to react, that level of being able to predict things and make the go against the grain call. Like, there was a certain play against the Cowboys where if Edrin Cooper had just watched Dak eyes, he would have saw exactly where he's going. He rushed to the wide out on the sideline, where if he just stayed put, he would have been in play to make an interception. But also, I think that that was designed because I'm pretty sure that not CD, who's the other guy? Who's the other Cowboys receiver?
Turpin?
No, not Turpin, the other one. The one they just got. Pickens. He tried to make a play at Pickens, obviously, because that was something they were concerned about. They didn't want him to do that. But to be real with you, Lavon, I think that last week was a wake-up call. I think the Browns was an even bigger wake-up call. And I think that logistically, my whole temperament for the season has changed from the past couple of weeks. It really has. Started off high. Not gonna lie, it has. And I'm just being realistic, dude. Because, when you're riding the high, you're riding the high. You know what I mean? But
what'd you say, Lo?
He talking shit. I know him. Yeah, it's okay.
I know you.
Shut up. Anyways, though, to answer your question, Lavon, I think that right now there's more of a rift in our coaches' confidence in this team than there is in the players' playing capabilities. Corey, did you have anything else you wanted to say, or we're going to end this segment and talk about y'all's game?
Oh no, I'm good.
Okay, cool. Like I said, dude, Dave, great first segment on the show, guys. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Spike. Obviously, again, we're joined by our newest guy, Mr. Dave, representing the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, we still have more games to talk about week 4, but before we do, I'm just so glad to have a member of every, representative of every member in this division on this show. So, let's do it, boys. To The Spike right here. Let's go now, fellas. Sir. Let's do it.
Right.
Salute.
Salute.
Okay, so obviously, the Chicago Bears had a crazy game against the Las Vegas Raiders. There's a bunch of takeaways. I got some takes on both teams. But before I say anything, let's hear from Mr. Lavon Lane, the Chicago Bears representative. Hear about your outlook on your Bears, man. What's going on?
Man, let me tell you this. I want to, first of all, give props out to the Las Vegas Raiders, man. First, 2 players specifically. One, Max Crosby.
Monster. Monster, bro.
You have to say Max Crosby before anybody on that team.
Mm-hmm.
That man, he was a beast, and on all levels. And secondly, I have to give it to everybody was about to cast him away. Ashton Jeanty.
Yes.
That man ran all over. Them 2 players right there.
Yep.
In our game specifically, I don't know about the prior games, but our game specifically, they dominated.
Mm-hmm.
And they play some grown man football.
They damn sure did.
And so, yes, I mean grown man. So, but just to kick it to the Chicago Bears side of it, I was pleased that they didn't give up. They didn't lose fight. They was we had a lot of turnovers for us defensively. We have got a lot of turnovers because Geno Smith is
garbage, trash, fucking trash.
Man, I was getting text from Imorie. He like, man, he's ass. He's trash. Everything was gas. He laughed. I was like, man, he is horrible.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he was horrible. Yeah. But anyway, Caleb, got to go with him. 2024 #1 draft pick. He was. You can see his progressions, and that's what I want people to see with Ben Johnson in the offense. And I'm gonna start with yes, he made some. He had a lot of batted balls. Maybe he got to change the angle of his throw, but he had a lot of batted balls. Our run game ain't working for nothing. Our run game is trash.
Yeah,
that's the question I had for you. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right. With that, yes, he has a connection with Rome. That's cool.
Oh, Dunze's a sleeper, man. You called that shit, but Dunze's coming in his own, man. Yeah.
Man, and he's beating every receiver when it comes to his draft pick last year. He beat Neighbors. He beating what's the Arizona kid?
Marvin Harrison. Harrison Jr.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. His connection with Caleb is crazy.
I was him on my fantasy. He's averaging 18 points a game.
Hey, I got him on my fantasy.
Yeah, Lavon, for the record, Lavon beat my ass last week. Beat the hell out of me. It was bad, bro. And then this week, I took 100-point loss. 100 fucking points to Axel. It was abysmal, bro. It was abysmal, bro.
Ugh. Yeah, take a sip on that. You said,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. Oh my god, damn.
Hey, Corey, you don't have to drink this. I drink for you. I drink another one.
But go ahead, Lavon. Finish your statement. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So going to the defensive side, yes, we had 4 turnovers. Which was good. Dennis Allen I see how he's trying to run his scheme. However, you understand we like Corey last year. We don't half our defensive backs and linebackers. They all hurt. And our defensive ends, we're hurt. Half our defense is hurt. And just the fact that we have kids out there, young men, I say, that's passionately want to run the scheme according to what Dennis Allen trying to install. They're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Now special team. Special team.
Fucking special team.
I just said exactly. Hey, Cameron. You remember last year?
I remember last year. Don't worry. I haven't forgotten the goddamn thing. Trust me. I have not, dude. Fuck.
Around. And we got that block field goal. Not just even, I like, last year, MRL, we had the kickoff return. It was a kickoff return. I'll let you say it. Wasn't the kickoff return?
What are we talking about last year? Which game? They talking about the last week? Or are we talking about the first week? Because the first week was a completely different game than the last game.
No.
Yeah, you don't want to talk about that first week, though, but you want to talk about the second week.
About this year.
This year? Oh, you talking about... Wait, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
The last game this year. The last game this year.
Talking about the Cowboys game?
Us.
We haven't played. Are you talking about January? Does not count. You're talking last season. You're talking about last season. Yeah. I get what you're talking about now.
Yes.
Yeah, I get what you're talking about. Yes, I get it. We fucked up. Special teams is trash. Okay, like I'm not. Like I've already said it.
Oh, you're supposed to say?
Yeah,
I just want you to say that.
Yeah, I've already fucking said it.
I want you to say it again because it sounds good.
Our special teams is dog water, piss poor, broke back, bunny hopping, bitch ass niggas who cannot let niggas get past them. Oh. That shit is trash. We have the highest paid DC, and I want them fired. You happy? You happy?
That sounds good.
Okay. Continue your point now. Continue your point.
Okay. Oh man, boy, that sounds good. Anyway.
You know what? Fuck that. Here we go. Like shit.
I made him take a whole spike to his
shit. God damn, dude.
Well, anyway, no. But other than that, Core, I see, and I'm telling you, we have not. I mentioned offense, defense, special team, but I have not seen the passion that our coach has since Mike Ditka. Like Ben Johnson, he kind of adopted some elements from Dan Campbell.
Yep.
And I love it, man. I love it as a fan. Even though he admit, I don't get everything right. However, you cannot negate how passionate he is, and how intellectually he actually think about each play he called. He think about how, man, we ran a fake flea flicker.
That shit was nuts. That shit was nuts, by the way. Like, that shit was crazy. Like,
that's thoughtful.
Y'all do fumble play, too.
I saw that. Yeah, y'all saw the Detroit fake fumble play. I'm like, oh, shit.
It wasn't successful, but they let you know what his mind is.
Thinking, yes.
Right.
That's why when the quarterbacks go up there, they go up there and they be like, they go on just like this. Everybody touch their helmet like that. They thinking. They see what they're who they supposed to block or their actual responsibility. So with all that being said, holistically, I'm excited about the upcoming events with Chicago Bears. We have a bye week this week, and then we go to Commanders. I'm waiting for that for Monday Night Football.
Also, Jaden will be back in that game, just so you know. Jaden will be back.
Hey, good. I want my lick back. I want my lick back. Ain't no Hail Mary this time. No, ain't no Hail Mary.
That game was nuts last year, dude. Shout out Olympia. Shout out Olympia.
Shout out to Olympia. Yep. So,
I got a question for you.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
All right. So, you guys are going to learn quickly that I'm a numbers guy. And statistics, numbers,
me too.
In and out, through and through. My question to you is, looking at the Bears' performance so far this season, in particular the run game. I'm looking at the numbers now. You got Swift. He's got 187 yards on 56 touches. You know what I mean? And then you got Williams himself that runs the ball often, and he's got 110 yards for 24 touches. You know what I mean? Your secondary quarterback is barely looking at 2 touches. You know, and my question is, with the offense firing on all cylinders, with a stud rookie, I mean, his numbers are crazy too. 35 targets, 20 receptions. That's crazy. You know what I mean? And with those numbers, he's looking like he's in the running for like rookie of the year with those types of numbers. So anyway, my question is the Bears' run game concerning to you? And if it is, how do you see that getting fixed for the future of the season?
Absolutely. So right now, multiple things.
That was a good fucking question. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And that's an easy question. I studied my team. So right now, we actually, it probably won't happen this year, but I know at the end of the year, we're trying to deal Swift. I like Swift.
I think so too. That's crazy that you said that, but I think so too.
Yeah. We trying to deal him. We trying to get a couple people. One is Charbonnet from the Jets. Seattle. Charbonnet was Seattle. Another one, Breece Hall with the Jets. So those are little rumors underneath the line with Ben Johnson, because Ben Johnson's his play game, his passing precision is amazing, but it can only be perfected when you have a complementary run game.
Exactly.
And so that goes back to when you have a astounding run game, Swift is not the guy. He can't run between the tackles, and he's a shoot. He's a
hole splitter. He's not going to bash through the line. He's going to pierce through the line. I get it. I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's going to make something happen.
Yeah. So what we tried to do last game was what's his name?
I know you're talking about Magoo.
He's from Mananga or something like that. Yeah.
Mananga.
Yeah.
And so Mananga, he got invested into a little bit more snaps, which was good. However, I also saw Caleb get a little bit more snaps too. It didn't work out well, but what we're trying to do offensively when it comes to the run game, we trying to show you run at least. We're trying to show you at least we're attempting to run so you can have that look. So when we don't run and play action fake, at least you've seen the look of run. Mm-hmm. But honestly, if we don't get that run game fixed, none of this don't mean nothing. Because what people gonna do, they're gonna start backing up.
Yeah.
They're gonna start backing up.
It all depends on who you're playing, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, true. But just in the elements you got to establish the run, or you got to continue to show them that you're capable running successfully. We have the linemen in place. The holes are open. You got to understand, we investing in the offensive line, and the holes are open. But here's the thing: swift vision, it ain't there, because we have a hole open up here on this side. He run here, and
Lavon, can I interrupt you for a second? Can I ask you a question? Do you think that, because it's funny that you said it exactly right. There's a hole here, but he's running here.
Yeah.
Now, and that's the thing about Ben Johnson, and this is something I've watched, because between you and the guys on the show, I went back and I've been digging in the last season, right? I've been going back and watching replays and highlights, and when I look at Detroit's run game, obviously they have two power backs in Gibbs and Montgomery. But both of those backs will bust through the line, And I think that, Ben Johnson as an offensive mind, from a passing perspective, he's like Morpheus, But from a running perspective, he's like fucking the guy from State Farm. You know what I mean? He's cautious. You know what I mean? Like it's a whole different thing, And I think that some of the most creative things I saw this week, who was it? When we watched the Alabama game, we're talking about college football, I know it's a different thing, but I saw them throw a run play, and instead of, handing it off to the running back, they throw a pass to a fucking D lineman who ran it through and trucked it in and got the first down. And I'm thinking, from an objective perspective, that's unorthodox. And I think that Ben Johnson's offense is unorthodox. But my question to you, Lavon, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, but my question is, what do you think it's going to take for Ben Johnson to open his trick bag when he's scheming for the run versus him, using his, prowess to construct positive passing plays for your offense?
Okay. All right. I'm going to answer that question. Dave, did I answer your question first?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. My initial concern was just the fact that, it's not just Stromile Swift. You got the whole running core, the whole running back package together is not very successful on the ground. And like you mentioned, I would think that the passing game would open up the run game for the Bears as successful as it's been, but that's not the case. Right? You know what I'm saying? So is it the system that needs a little tweaking, or is it the personnel that needs changing? You see what I'm saying? Like you mentioned.
Okay. Yeah. And Imorie, I'm gonna get right back to.
No, you're good. Take your time. Do your thing. Do your thing.
Yeah. So this particular game, everything's different, game to game, week to week basis, right? So this particular game, we had basically two rookies at tackles. Two rookies. We had a rookie going against Max Crosby.
So he got cooked. He
did, but he did shadow Crosby half the time. He was like 55% shadowing. But remember, Max Crosby couldn't get in. He had to block some passes.
Yeah, and he did. He blocked some, and he got a pick off you guys. I think that was his first. That might have been his first pick in his career, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
This is wild. Go ahead.
Yeah, but so it is. We invested in that offensive line, right? So to open up the run game, we have to have our investment, which is our guard center guard, and our Pro Bowl tackle, which he was hurt. He has an elbow injury. We had to put in a Canadian. He's a rookie, and then we had to put in another rookie, which he like 6'8". So we had two rookies at tackle. I really applaud them for giving all they got in their first game against a defensive line of the Raiders that was amazing. And so
they were decent. I wouldn't say amazing, but they were decent. Max Crosby was the outlier, but I'll give it to you.
Well, you got to understand, how many sacks did Max Crosby get?
What was it? 2, 3?
No.
How many did he get? 1?
Maybe 1.
But you know what he did do? You know what he did do? Pressure. How many pressures did he have? That's the question.
He probably had like 3 pressures.
I'm finna look it up right now. But keep talking. I'm gonna look it up. Yeah.
I'm looking it up as we speak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look it up.
See, that's why I love Dave. But go ahead, Lavon. I'm sorry.
Yeah, look it up. So my whole point is, as we invest in our offensive line, they came through pretty decent, where it gave us a chance and opportunity in our pass game, which is our strength. to come through and score touchdowns. You see what I'm saying? So, yes, our run game not there. We average probably about 2 yards per attempt. However, Caleb made some amazing throws when it counts. Especially, he's amazing when it comes to the last possession in a 2-minute drill. He is amazing. Caleb is amazing in that. All right. So
to answer your question, sorry to interrupt you. Max Crosby had 5 pressures with 3 batted passes, though. 3 batted passes, though. You understand what I'm saying?
That was 3 batted passes.
Yeah, 3 batted passes, yeah. Okay, continue, though. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Imorie, I want to answer your question.
Okay, go for it. Do you remember it? Do you need me to say it again?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
You do want me to say it again?
Yeah.
Okay. So my question to you was, do you think that Ben Johnson's running game scheme needs to be unlocked? Like I said, and I'll reiterate a little bit more the premise I said previously. Like I said, when he was the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, he had 2 power backs in Gibbs and Montgomery. Obviously, those guys are they're line breakers. They're going to find a line. They're going to draw their own line through the gap that's not in the line yet, right? And I think that. So my main question is, do you think that with the current personnel, he's gonna, be able to unlock that same level of, that same level of, overall intellect in order to scheme properly to get these guys to have positive records? What do you think it's going to take? Because I feel like right now his run game, he's scheming based off of having Gibbs and Montgomery, but he doesn't have them. And, like you said, Swift is, he's a pretty reputable back in the league, but he's not a trailblazer. You know what I mean? So my root cause of my question is, what is it going to take Ben Johnson to be as ingenuitive in his run game design as he is in his passing offense design?
Easy. Get another back in. Hey,
it's still possible.
I'm gonna ask you, Lavon.
Yeah.
I just have to say question. Something I want to address about Ben Johnson. Because they were talking about. I think y'all played that Monday night, Minnesota, and that was when they were saying that he gonna pull out trick plays and another, but they said Ben want to set that foundation first. You get the basics down first. Once the players get the basics down first, then we'll start doing other stuff. And that's why you don't see a lot of trick plays from him. He might throw a couple in there, but he wants these players. You get the basic stuff down first. Then we'll start on the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
I say I think that'd be our thing.
Yeah, and so here's the thing with that, Corey, what you just said, and kind of put it together with your question, Imorie. So yes, we need to sustain a successful season this year. We're going to need an additional back, or a back that can have good vision and can see where to hit the holes, just like a Sonic and Knuckles. That's one of the reasons they were successful.
Exactly.
They have great vision. They have great vision. Both of them do. I can't say either one. Both of those backs for Detroit have great vision.
They do.
All right. Now, Corey, with Ben Johnson, yes, that running game has to be the basic foundation of his offense, because his offensive passing schemes is so well drawn up. I mean, because I see it in the quarterback school on YouTube. I was like, the way he's designing these plays, it's very hard to really not have one receiver open. You know what I'm saying? Because he's scheming them up so well. However, when you don't really disguise a pass play and they know you're going to pass, you can have an additional defensive back there. And so it's kind of hard to have your receiver open when that's the case. But last thing I'm going to say is this. When, I don't know if y'all seen it's not allegations, but the little controversy they had during halftime show with Ben Johnson and the reporter who reported during halftime.
No, enlighten us.
I
don't recall that, no. So what happened?
I heard something very faint, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so Ben Johnson, some people call him a psychopath.
He is, absolutely. That's why I'm scared of him. Yeah, he is. But also, he's stoic. He's like, I'm sorry, Lavon, I'll let you finish. Ben Johnson, if you take Ben Johnson and you take Dan Campbell and you put Matt LaFleur and then Kevin O'Connell, right? Okay. Ben Johnson is Jason from Friday the 13th, right?
Yeah. I call him Chucky. I ain't gonna lie. He like the second Chucky behind
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I misspoke. I'm sorry. Dan Campbell is Jason from Friday the 13th. A hulking badass of a man, right? Ben Johnson is Michael Myers. He's stoic. Okay. He's sneaky. Yeah. You never see his thing, right? Kevin O'Connell is Leatherface, right? Like, he's just balls to the wall, like, what the fuck is happening, you know?
Yeah.
Matt LaFleur ain't none of them.
No, you know what Matt LaFleur is? Matt LaFleur is at one of them HBCUs. He's a Kappa. He
shut the fuck up. No, stop. No, shut the fuck up. No, absolutely. This nigga does not have the peppermint cake. Like, no, you didn't. No, dude. And that's the thing, too. I'm going to let you finish, Lavon. But on some real talk,
go ahead.
When I talk about all three of y'all's teams, and I look at like the trickle down of your head coach's mindset to your players, with my team, I don't see it. And I'm not just speaking objectively. I'm just being real. I don't see it. Matt LaFleur has a winning record. You know, he's taken teams to the playoffs 6 of his 7 seasons. But who is he? He's a guy who just goes on to every press conference and says, they outplayed us. We got to be better. I'm fucking over it. Like, I don't want that. What does Dan Campbell say? Dan Campbell says, they got us. We'll be back. That's like some uplifting thing. I don't want to hear we got outplayed. Bitch, you get paid all this money for what, motherfucker? John Gruden will be on this team and be like, fuck that, kill the motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we need. Because in our division, we got 3, like, y'all's coaches aren't going anywhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're not. And there's a question mark. But go ahead, Lavon. I'm sorry to take it off. We'll finish that.
Yeah, we're praying.
Yeah, we're praying. Dan Campbell ain't going nowhere. You'll be fine. Yeah. Lavon, finish it out, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll go to the Lions. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just to close it out, what happened with the reporter, basically she was asking them, she made a statement in, how can I say it? She made a statement in question form, or she said a question in statement form. It was one or the other. Mm-hmm. But Ben Johnson said exactly what Corey said. He's a foundational type guy. Run. So Ben Johnson said we have to reset and go back to the basics. And the lady asked him, is that what you're going to do? Is that something you need to redo? And he stared at her. They say he gave her the
cold stare. Yeah.
And the cold stare. And he what was it? They made fun of that, man. I ain't gonna lie. They was like, she questioned him, but that stare
confirmed her question.
It confirmed, but he asked the question, do you think that's what we need to do? Oh, that's what he said.
Yeah.
See, you know?
Yeah.
I see it now. Yeah. She said you need to change what you're doing, and he said, "You think so?"
Yeah.
Very sarcastically.
Yeah. What'd you say, Corey?
Basically, look at her like you want to tell me to do my job?
Yeah. Exactly. What'd you say, Corey? I'm curious.
I was saying, like how Ben Johnson asked that question, I'm switch to basketball. That's how Greg Popovich would answer that question the same way.
Yeah.
He's a great coach.
Yep.
That's exactly how he would answer that same question. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I think Ben going to be real successful. He's going to try to get that foundation together.
Yeah.
Everything else going to work itself out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at. Yeah, we're going to take a break, guys. Too. Lavon, great takes on the Bears. Honestly, it's so great to have a division show. We're going to take a little bit of intermission. We'll come back. We're going to talk about Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions. We'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back to the spot. Spike Podcast. It's just so great to just have division people on here. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. If you guys like it, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe. Drop a comment if you think Corey's 58 years old. You know, just let us know anything, okay? Because we are not going to enjoy the show as much as without you guys' feedback. You know what I mean? But I had to throw a shout out my man Corey because, you know, the Detroit Lions are actually starting to play some football. They started off rough in week 1 against us. We whooped that ass. You know, but, you know, since then, they've righted a lot of wrongs. And, Papa, you've been a huge contributor to the show, you know, even comedically and perspective-wise. I want to know what you think about the Detroit Lions. You guys just had a pretty good week 4 win against the Cleveland Browns, who we choked to. I know you're feeling good, but what are your actual thoughts about it?
Oh, man. First off and foremost, I'm spiking up to this one.
Let's go.
Yes.
Salute.
But, man, I'm going to tell you, like, I'm always been that person that say, you still got to take it one game at a time. It doesn't matter who you play. I had a lot of people would tell me that, oh, y'all going to stomp the Cleveland Browns. We're going to do this. I said, well, I got to see. You know, I got to see what's going on. But one thing I like, man, and I say you will notice, like you said, the team of your identity, you'll know about week 4, week 5. And what I'm saying, the first week to this week, we're really not skipping a beat. Even though we lost our offense coordinator, defensive coordinator, we still putting up numbers.
Yeah.
And we beat Cleveland, 34-10. And like I said, for the offense, like as far as what we got going into week 5, we averaged 34 points a game. That's first in the NFL. 6 yards per game, 65 yards. That's 6 on offense. Defense, and Shepard doing a great job, defense coordinator. I'm talking about we got 14 sacks. I think that's tied for like the first. 6 forced turnovers. That's tied like 6. Rushing against defense, that's 8. That's 7. Man, we still handling business. But I like what I'm saying. And I told y'all earlier in a group text, something I'm going to tell you about Gibbs and St. Brown. We got the number 1 running back and the number 1 wide receiver play for Detroit Lions. It's not up for debate. It's not going
to fight you. Not going to fight you. Not going to fight you. Not even going to fight you.
Damn.
As much as I want to fight you, I can't.
Right. It's not up for debate. You know what I'm saying?
Well, my flesh is like.
Yeah, I feel it too. I want to just breathe fire, but I fucking can't. Like, it's so frustrating.
Like,
oh, yeah.
I'm going to spike myself to that shit. Fucking fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to take one more on this because I'm just so proud of my team. It's just how, it's just how we just come into our own because really, to be honest with y'all, we should be undefeated. But, you know, the first game we played,
Yes, I agree. I agree.
You know what I'm saying? You know. But, you know what I realized what Dan Campbell did against Green Bay? You know how sometimes when you
here we go. And this is where we're going to get interesting. Let's go.
You know, when you're playing a video game against your little cousin or
here this nigga go.
You've been kicking their ass all the time, man. They crying. So you say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and let them beat me. That's all we did week 1. Because
it's a bold statement.
If we stay healthy. Thanksgiving Day at the Green Bay Packers.
You know what? I'm going to say something. I'm going to interrupt you right here. Thanksgiving Day, Papa, what you doing? What you doing?
Huh?
What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
No, I'll just be with the family for a little bit.
You know what?
I'll just be with my family.
I was just saying, my family's not doing anything for Thanksgiving this year. What if I came to watch the game with you?
Hey, I'll be in Jackson.
I was going to say, how you feel about that?
I'll be in Jackson. We need to connect. Okay.
I can be there.
No, real talk. I see what's up.
Because, Papa, you know, and I wanted you to have this line segment. But the reason why I wanted it is because I have questions for you. And it's not from the perspective of, my team and where we stand in the division. It's for you as an individual because, in between the recordings of the show, we've talked about, the dark times you've gone through supporting this team. And your loyalty never waves, which is one thing I respect about you. Like, I might be hypocritical about a lot of shit, a lot of my coaches. I'm entitled, But you went through an 0-16 season with your team and still rep them. And that's why, as much as I talk shit about you being 72 years old, you're an OG. You know what I mean?
Yeah, salute that.
Yeah, I can't. I got to. Like, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta give it to you. I gotta give it to you. You look great for 72, bro.
Exactly.
But for real, though, I gotta...
As I always say, what till y'all get to be my age?
God, you guys imagine me at Corey's age? Like I don't want to meet that guy, to be real. But Corey, legitimately though, I do have a question for you. So, I've seen you guys, revolutionize your production, especially with the new coordinators in week 1 to week 2 and week 2 to week 4 progressively. Now, my question to you is this. That guy, obviously you guys are firing on all cylinders. Obviously, Jared Goff is throwing different passing routes, different things. We've obviously seen the differences in your offense, My question is, like, obviously you guys are, I feel like, objectively speaking, you guys are healthier now at this point in the season than you were last year. Are there any facets of your game that are kind of, setting off your radar there? Like, because to be real with you, like, I'm not going to lie, you guys are, obviously, you've turned it around since week 1. But I think the reason we stuck up and beat you is because we came out week 1 confident, and we also played a different game than you guys expected us to. And your new game didn't work against ours. Now, with a head coach like Dan Campbell, and I'll get to the question in a second, with a head coach like Dan Campbell, everybody has to acclimate to his level. You understand what I'm saying? Like, especially with, you guys hired your OC and DC from within. There's a whole bunch of things you can say about the success that they've had because they came from your organization, So my question is this. What do you think, if you guys kept doing everything the same, you keep, reinventing the wheel, where do you guys fall short? Because obviously in the playoffs last year, you did, and it was miserable. Like, what do you think that you guys are looking at, playoffs when they get here? You think you guys are working incrementally week to week towards playoffs? Like, what's your thoughts? Like, because I've seen you guys make progressive, passive, not passive, active, engagements towards, bettering your game offensively and defensively alike. Special teams has obviously been solid too, but what do you want the Lions to do that they aren't doing right now? I'll say it like
that. Man, really, Imorie, I just want to stay focused. I really think right now, even like last year, we are our own worst enemy. And what I mean by that, kudos to Washington last year for beating us in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They did what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, a lot of people was talking about saying, man, y'all injury color with y'all, this, that, and the other. And I said, man, real talk, the defense played enough for us to win the game. It was Jared Goff's bad play that lost the game on 5 receptions. You can't not do that.
Honestly, that might be the most picks I've seen from a quarterback in recent years. Not trying to just throw shade, but it might be the worst. And you guys, it was bad, but it was just crazy. Sorry, Corey. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It was bad. And see, he threw 5 picks in the regular season game. I think it was against Texas.
You talking about
that same year?
You talking about the Texans?
We won.
Yeah, you guys did win. Texas. Yeah, that's the game I'm talking about. I'm sorry, I was confused. Yeah,
but see, that's why I say in the playoff game, that's a whole different atmosphere, whole different, ball game. Mm-hmm. It's a new season. When the playoffs start, it's a new season. So that's why I was saying it was a lot with the offense. To me, I watch my team. It's more of the offense that I said the Jared Goff just didn't, show up. Play calling, because Washington really couldn't really stop one, but we went away from it. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna say like I did last season, we're gonna go as far as Jared Goff take us. And I believe in Jared Goff. But I think if this year, and like I said, Super Bowl is what I'm aiming for. Regardless if we don't win the North, it's another. I want to get to the playoffs. We have to go ahead and get that Super Bowl with this team we got. Mm-hmm. Because we got so many stars on this team. To me, it's there. The chemistry there, teams there, and like I said, it's in week 4, about to go to week 5. We really ain't skipped a beat. We don't do like the trick plays like Van Johnson. We do throw here, one here and there, but
it's not your identity
I
anymore.
haven't seen really a hiccup.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't see a hiccup because, like, with Kevin Shepard, the defense, I watch it. Well, no, it was stats for the season. Let me get this note. Right now, week 4, like I said, 14 sacks. That's tied for the first. That's defense now. 6 forced turnovers. That's tied for 6. The running game against our defense, 3.8. That's tied for 7. Man, come on, man.
Yeah.
Kevin Shepard doing the do.
Yeah.
He coached that team. He coached that defense. He coached. So, like I said, if we can stay healthy, Super Bowl is what I'm aiming for, man. That's it. That's all I can say.
Yeah. And see, it's beautiful to say because one thing that I envy about your franchise versus mine is, my franchise, personally speaking, objective as a Packers fan is I think we've been content just making the playoffs. I think that obviously Jordan Love's starting year with us getting the dominant win in Dallas, going on the 49ers, almost having a shot at the NFC Championship. I think that that's the ceiling of our modern franchise, And one of the things I envy about you guys is you guys are going for it all every single year, and that's something that trickles down from your head coach. But I love our division. I love how insane the play is. But I'm excited to see where it goes. It's still early in the season. We're coming up on week 4. And we're going to take a quick commercial break, but I want to get into more of the nitty-gritty of the division because I'm sure a lot of us have questions for our teams that haven't really derived from our recent matches. But we're going to come back right after this commercial break. We'll be right back, but also, fuck the Lions. We'll be right back. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Spike Podcast. Again, this is our final segment. I just, again, want to thank Mr. Dave for coming on here to rep the Minnesota Vikings and rounding out the panel of the show, making it a true division show. This has been a great show, great thoughts, great takes, and guys, let's just keep the trend going. We're coming to the final segment. To the Spike.
Yes,
Here we go. Let's do it.
Yes, right. Yes, sir.
Let's do it. Salud.
Yep.
Okay. So here's what I want to do at the end of the show. This is the first time we've had a representative from all 4 of our NFC North teams. And like Lavon said during the commercial break, this is one of the oldest divisions in football. A lot of us, the Packers-Bears rivalry, one is the oldest in the entire National Football League. But I want us to ask each other then the uncomfortable questions. Like, to be real with you, Dave, and I'm going to kick it to you first because you're the new guy on the show. I'm sorry, rookie out. But, dude, how do you feel about the Minnesota Vikings? We talk about legacy players, and we'll go there afterwards. But what's your team's identity? What are the things that you're thinking outside of week to week? Like, what do you say?
I'm saying that this team, I believe this team is missing just a few pieces to be a bona fide Super Bowl contender.
Okay.
We have a heck of a coach in KOC. We have a heck of a defensive coordinator, Brian Flores.
We haven't mentioned his name on the show. I was waiting, but I'm like, that guy's a monster.
Exactly. So right now, I don't want anybody else. And as far as the team as an entirety, I mean, we have a really good offense put together. We built a great O-line. Our receiving core is immaculate.
Mm-hmm.
The running game that we had set in place took a hit. But picking up Jordan Mason was a super steal.
Yeah.
I don't know how the Niners got rid of that man.
Yeah.
I understand CMC came back, but this guy has been a blessing to the Vikings ever since he got here. And I mean, he's averaging over 50 yards a game, which right now a lot of these teams in the NFL are not doing.
True.
You know what I mean? And our receiving core is taking a hit because of obviously our quarterback, our most important position right now, is in jeopardy. I mean, J.J. McCarthy should be coming back soon. He has shown some.
What'd you say, Lavon?
He got injured.
What is his injury?
I can't recall exactly what the injury was.
It wasn't turf toe, was it?
I can't recall.
No, turf toe was
something
Burrow.
like that. Turf toe
was Burrow. I'll look it up. Keep talking. I'll look it up. I got you.
Yeah. Well, my point was that he's still wet behind the ears. He hasn't proved anything. From what I've seen so far, yeah, he couldn't possibly fit into the system, But as of right now, the way things are, I'm still not sold on JJ McCarthy. I haven't seen enough of him.
Okay, for the record, McCarthy's injury is a high right ankle sprain. So he's going to be sidelined for 2 to 4 weeks, so he will be back. But I just had to throw that in there. But continue, I'm sorry.
He'll be back. Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the thing. Yeah, he's going to come back, but come back to what? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because it's like, he was injured for his whole rookie season. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Yep. He was for his whole rookie season, so he had all that time to gel in KOC's system and grow that confidence with the first team, practicing with the first team, and yeah, he didn't see real playing time on the field, but you had enough time to gel with your offense to know what to expect from your offense when you come out into that field.
Absolutely.
And the fact that he came out and he sort of fell flat, so to speak, makes me wonder if he's the guy in the first place. You know what I mean? Because Carson Wentz came in for him. And his first game that he came in, essentially he balled out.
To be fair though, Carson Wentz has. This is JJ McCarthy's basically rookie season now. Just saying. I'm not trying to steal thunder, but dude, exactly. You can't compare to them with the same thing. And I'm not saying that anything because, dude, JJ McCarthy's debut performance when he was getting his ass beat and brought that game back, I haven't seen that same fire. But Jackson Dart for the New York Giants came out with the same fire and beat the Chargers, But I don't want to say thunder. Go ahead.
No, those are two entirely different players. I mean, Jackson Dart, everybody, we all saw what he did at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then compare that to JJ McCarthy and what he did at Michigan. Yeah, they were successful. But if you look at how he played in Michigan, it wasn't even dual threat. It was run first. Mm-hmm. More yards rushing than he did passing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Very conservative.
And it's like that's the system. That's the system that Harbaugh built around him that he made successful. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But now that you have JJ McCarthy that comes into a pass first system, he's not seeing that success. He's seeing some, but not. Nobody has him on their. Nobody's picking him up on fantasy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
No. He hasn't sold.
Dave, why do you think they decided to take him in the draft, though? Do you think they saw something? I'm curious because you're the first Vikings fan we had on the show because that was one of the most puzzling picks of the draft, especially if it was still on the board at that point in time. Why JJ McCarthy? Was it just because of his rings in college? Because we've seen a bunch of reputable quarterbacks. I mean, arguably the LA Rams have Matt Stafford, but behind them is still Stetson Bennett, back-to-back Madden champion quarterback. There was something to see in him. Why JJ McCarthy for the Minnesota Vikings, though?
Because essentially, even though he can make plays with his feet, he does have an arm. He has an arm. Mm. Accuracy is what's in question. You know what I mean? Mm. His accuracy, his is he a field general? Does he go through his progressions? Does he go through his progressions efficiently? You know what I mean? Because when he hikes that ball, the first place he's looking is at Justin Jefferson
immediately.
But at the same time, are you reading the defenses? Are you seeing that Hawkinson is going to be open for short yardage on the opposite side because everybody's stacking up the box and looking at Justin Jefferson? You know what I'm saying? Is he making those decisions? In the games that I saw, he's not. He's just going. He's somebody's calling the plays. Somebody's putting the plays in his ears, and he's doing what he's told. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's nowhere near I'm not going to compare him to a Brady or anything like that, but he's nowhere near a seasoned veteran that can call an audible at the line based off what he sees the defense.
Can I ask you a controversial question?
You know what I mean? He's not there yet. We haven't seen enough.
Yeah. Who's better, Geno Smith or JJ McCarthy?
I know.
Damn.
Welcome to me. You said I was going to start a pot. I was waiting on it. I was like,
Yeah, take a drink.
Drink it right there.
I had to put you on the spot. Sorry, Dave.
Hey, you know, Dave, I feel your sentiments on JJ McCarthy because that's the same type of expressions and sentiments I had last year with Caleb. They keep comparing them to, now I ain't talking about Emory, I'm talking about just the NFL media in general. They keep comparing them to he just coming out of college, and the system he ran, he didn't have to read the defense. He's just shotgun.
That's one of the things I was going to say for sure.
And he just clapping. That ain't just clapping to receive the ball. So I understand. JJ McCarthy has to. This is his rookie year. He has to get some games underneath his belt. He probably had 3 NFL games under him. Am I right?
If that, yeah.
Yeah.
If that. Yeah. So 3. And you see Caleb, he has 21. And he's just progression as
he's just getting into it, yeah.
He's just getting into it. And here's the thing. We had to fire a coach last year to get him to a position where he can get a great head coach like your head coach to get him in a great position to develop. So I'm just saying this. Be patient with him. That's the whole thing I'm saying.
I agree too.
If you're going to keep this guy. Yeah.
Absolutely. I will say I am confident that the Vikings as an organization and also KOC as the head coach, because everybody knows KOC is also referred to as the quarterback whisperer.
Yeah,
right?
I did.
Nobody did with Sam Darnold. He rejuvenated
what he did with Darnold last season was terrifying. It was terrifying. It was absolutely fucking terrifying.
Darnold was 2 seconds away from not being in the league anymore to now he's demanding a bag.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
15-2, dog.
And
Shit is.
And that's one season.
Yeah.
In one season. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So I believe that KOC is going to shape McCarthy into the quarterback he needs to be. Mm-hmm. Got to give it some time. I believe he's gonna enable Carson Wentz to see some success in this year in the system that he has in place already. Because the guy. I mean, he's good with quarterbacks. He rejuvenates quarterbacks, so to speak. You know what I mean? So I think Carson Wentz is gonna have some success. It's gonna be just like at the end of last year, where the question was, do we retain Darnold or do we let him go? Of JJ McCarthy, our first-round draft pick. I think at this end of this season, it's going to be another question: do we retain Carson Wentz as a steady backup to JJ McCarthy? Do we consider maybe letting JJ McCarthy sit behind him for a little bit, maybe half a season, whatever, just for him to get some more experience and tutelage under his belt? Or are we going to go shop for another good backup? You see what I'm saying?
Let me ask you a question, Dave.
You know what I mean? So there's different questions that need to be put.
And that's perfect that you phrased it that way, because here's my question. So we're talking about JJ McCarthy in the grand scheme of the success of your offense. Is that a fair assessment of what our thing is? What about the running game? Mm-hmm. Because here's the thing. It's all of the quarterbacks that all of us think are some of the best have always had a complimentary running game, you know? And obviously you guys have Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is hurt. Mm-hmm. Jordan Mason is stepping up. You know what I mean? But obviously the running game has been, like you said, you guys are pass-heavy offense. Do you not think that J.J. McCarthy could benefit from a system that is more reminiscent of his Michigan offense versus forcing him to adapt to a high-power passing offense, even regardless if you guys have a strong receiver core? You understand what I'm saying? Like, do you think that, like, and then Lavon said it about his team, the Bears, they're one back away from being, reputable. You know what I'm saying? But, like, we're talking about it like a team like the Minnesota Vikings who last season went 15-2 off a high-powered passing offense. Do you think that McCarthy could benefit from the backs taking a little bit of the load off him? I mean, obviously he's a rookie. He's had, like I said, 3-ish games, underneath him. Like, what do you think he needs? Do you think KOC needs to adapt his scheme to accommodate JJ? Or do you think JJ needs to step up to become KOC's quarterback?
I think it's the latter. I think McCarthy's going to have to step up to become KOC's quarterback. The reason why I say that is because
there you go.
Just look at the way the Viking offense is built. It's everything. The pieces already set in place. McCarthy needs to fit in. It's not the other way around.
Hell yeah. Okay.
See what I'm saying? The way the offense is built, I mean, it goes from the receiving core to the backs to the O-line that we just in place. This O-line is meant to protect a quarterback.
Facts.
Give him more than 5 seconds in the pocket. That's what this O-line is built for. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, we picked up Jordan Mason. We picked up Jordan Mason or Aaron Jones. I'll give you an Aaron Jones. We picked him up thinking that initially Vikings fans thought, okay, we picked up Aaron Jones. He's going to give us the same production that he was given in Green Bay.
He's not.
The case. We ended up using him as a receiving back.
Yeah.
Where he's catching patches, bubble screen screens or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? That's where he's becoming powerful for us as a weapon. And that's why we went and picked up Jordan Mason. So essentially, Jordan Mason is our power back, and Aaron Jones is our, so to speak, slot back. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
But that being said, if you digest what I just said, is he's our slot back, and Jordan Mason is our power back. Jordan Mason is our power back for short gains, red zone opportunities. That's how I see it.
I feel that. Punch it through. I got you.
The bread and butter of our team. The bread and butter of our team is the passing game.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, we have everybody knows who Justin Jefferson is, but we have a stud in Addison.
Addison is understated.
A stud in Jalen Naylor that we're underusing right now because Addison is back now. But while Addison was out, Naylor was doing a good job filling in for him. And now that Addison's back, Naylor's back riding the bench again. What's going to happen is that he's going to throughout the season, he's going to have a couple of good games, and he's going to get shipped out for a bigger contract somewhere else. The guy, he's a good receiver. There's just no more space for him because we have the receiving core is so stacked. And we didn't even get to our tight end, Hawkinson, which is
he's one of the most underrated parts of your offense,
maybe top 6 tight end in the league.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. So the only thing that, and our defense is pretty well stacked itself. We got a bunch of injuries that we're dealing with. Van Ginkel is in and out. Harrison Smith is in and out. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of intangibles that you can't plan for that you have to try to overcome throughout the season. And I think we are stacked enough where we can overcome those intangibles. We can overcome those shortcomings, those weaknesses throughout the season. So by the time we get to playoff time, where it's like we have to get down to nitty gritty before playoffs start, I think that's when people start noticing our system and how our offense is gelled. And I think McCarthy by then should be calmed down enough and more confident to where you can see the change in confidence in his play.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see what I mean? Honestly, I'm just waiting towards the end of the season.
Yeah, and honestly, you framed it perfectly because I think your overall arc for your team is about for all of the people who are, designated starters, even if they have the minimal amounts of experience. Like, everybody has to rise to the occasion. And that's another thing that I like about the Minnesota Vikings is you guys are a high-powered passing team. To be real, even when you guys had Kirk Cousins, you guys were always a high-passing offensive team. Kirk Cousins was fucking lights out for those last couple of years for you guys. To be real, as much as you guys didn't necessarily get the playoff record to, accommodate his level of skill, I think that there's definitely something to be said about, like you said, the quarterback rising to the head coach's mantra. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to use that mentality to segue because I want to talk about the Chicago Bears for a second. Because Caleb Williams has been through a different offensive coordinator, head coach, everything. His entire coaching staff has been in turmoil for everything. But I'm starting to see him do the thing that Dave was just mentioning that he wanted McCarthy to do for Minnesota Vikings. Now, Ben Johnson, speaking objectively, everyone knew. Like, I've watched him on the sidelines. Believe me, every Bears game this season, I've been watching. I ain't talked about it, but I've been watching. And you know what I noticed about Ben Johnson on the sideline? His face is insane. He shows no emotion.
No emotion.
None. Zero. Fucking zero. Right. Even when there's a bad play, even when there's a good play, I don't see shit. And that's intimidating. And Dave, and I'm picking it back into the Bears off of you because you touched on one thing. Dude, if you're going to be a quarterback in the National Football League, if you're going to be starting quarterback on any team, whether it's the main starting or you're starting week to week because of an injury, you have to be able to rise to the occasion. Because we can take it outside of football. Let's take it to comic books for a second, right? Superman is the all-powerful, super crazy, I can just shoot laser beams, I can beat your ass. Who does he lose to? Batman. Because that nigga was like, I'm going to play your own shit against you, and then I'm going to beat you, and then I'm going to tell you and disappear so you can't even understand. He's big brain. I see that Bruce Wayne mindset in Ben Johnson because he's being cautious.
Right.
It's about thinking. It's about being tactical. Batman is the smartest tactician in the league.
Great analogy.
And out of our division, if I had to give any of our coaches everything, Ben Johnson, I wouldn't even give him anybody. I give Ben Johnson, Batman. I give Dan Campbell, Thor. I give KOC fucking I don't know, fucking Green Lantern, and then Matt LaFleur is like fucking, like some B character. Like, what is he doing? Like, I don't know. Sometimes I'll say Matt LaFleur is like Deathstroke. But then other times, he's like a bobblehead. Like, I don't know. Like, you get a different one from week to week. And there's a difference in consistency there. So, Lavon, I'm going to bring it back to you. You guys, we just heard Dave's, spiel about the Vikings. Also, Dave, pleasure to have you here. Legitimately. So blessed. Yeah. So blessed to have a Vikings fan on the show because it rounds out everything.
Thank you, guys.
But, Lavon, specifically, I want to ask you this. You guys have been trending on the app and up week to week. Obviously, weeks 1, weeks 2, it was crazy. Week 3, you dominated the Dallas Cowboys. We tied. I know that was, an emotional boost for your team. But week 4, you guys were resilient and you blocked that kick. What's next for the Chicago Bears? You guys have a bye this week, but you come back to here.
Yeah. That's boy, you are so on point with your question.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what's next for the Chicago Bears?
What's that?
What's next for the Chicago Bears is that we're getting majority of our defensive backs back. We're getting majority of our linebackers back. We're getting majority of our defensive ends back. They are healthy. And we're taking
injuries.
Yes, from injuries. And we're taking that bye week off to just not only heal from the current players that's been playing, but making sure that those players that's coming back, that we can get a good reputation together where we can understand the schemes, because those players been hurt. They've been hurt all year.
They have been for a while.
Yeah. So this is a good way where we can get back and then understand we playing the Commanders in week 5. So,
Lavon, before you finish that statement, tell me about the first time you played the Commanders last year. How'd that make you feel? Because that's going to motivate your responses. Because that game I watched, and you just took hell on the show for that game. What happened?
Yeah.
For the viewers who didn't see it.
Let me tell you. I'm going to clip this part right here. I'm going to clip it. So, I did some cussing.
Lavon was cussing like me. And Devontae he was throwing shit. Dude, it's funny because the way it was told to me was by Devontae Crowder. Shout out to Devontae, representative for the Dallas Cowboys, and was him and Lavon were renting a house at the time. And he said he was asleep. And he woke up in the fourth quarter of the game and heard Lavon screaming like, "What are you doing? What's happening?" And he was mad. And then the Hail Mary happened, and he heard Lavon just throwing shit on the ground. What the fuck? Yeah. Y'all are some bitch ass. What the fuck?
And hey Dave, the funny part about all that is, yes, Eberflus is our defensive coordinator and head coach for the Chicago Bears last year, right? Now he's Devontae. He's the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys. You'll meet Devontae soon. Shout out to D.
Yeah, shout out to D.
So, and the funny part was, I know how Eberflus run his defense personally.
Right.
However, when we ran that defensive scheme against the Commanders last year, it was abysmal. It was horrific.
It was ass.
It was horrible.
It was
now
cooked.
We have Dennis Allen. Yeah, exactly. Now we have Dennis Allen. It's like, nah, you ain't seeing none of this. Everything is so strategic. Let me tell you the reason why.
So different.
Because of Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson is he's a technician. Like, everybody has to be in a spot, or even on defense. And he goes back and forth with Dennis Allen. He goes back and forth with Hightower, who is a special team. Remember, when we blocked that kick with the Las Angeles
Las Vegas Raiders?
With Las Vegas Raiders. Man, we knew when the center had the ball and how he snapped the ball. When he snapped the ball, he just don't hike it. He shakes it first before he hikes it. That's how much hate they was looking at. And that's how Blackwell knew exactly when to go around, because he could have easily got offside.
He could have.
You know what I'm saying?
But he didn't.
Yeah, exactly. But he didn't. And so that's what I'm saying. He's a technician, and it's everything. And our mantra from the Chicago Bears comes from a head coach, which is summed up in these 3 words: good, better, best.
Hell yeah. Lavon, I appreciate you.
I'm going to do a small stuff right quick. And I'm going to say, y'all beat when
Corey,
y'all
get in the camera.
beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, Corey, you at the camera, low.
I'm at the camera. My bad.
There you go. He back. We see that globe-trotter hair ass nigga.
Dang.
I got you. I want y'all to see some more of this goddamn number 1 NFC North. That's what I want y'all to see. You know, we number 1 this motherfucking night. Oh, yeah.
Man, camera about to shut off, huh?
Swear.
Anyway.
Go ahead, Papa.
But no, real talk. I said, after y'all beat the Cowboys, that locker room where Ben Johnson...
Bro, I said it.
That's a spark.
That shit was dangerous.
That was a spark.
It was terrifying.
I said he got them players locked in to believe what he's doing. So it's just up to the players to go ahead and, you know what I'm saying? He going to find players that's on program, not on program, you know what I'm saying? But when I saw that, you know what I'm saying, that victory, that locker room, I said, oh, no. I said, Ben Johnson got this shit.
Mm-hmm.
He got it.
Yeah, he got it a lot. And let me tell you this, in addition to this, I'm gonna close out from the Bears perspective. We had we had 2 rookie tackles in there, right? Going against the Raiders, right? He pulled our Pro Bowl tackle out of there because he was missing. He don't care about your status. He will pull you in the middle of a game.
Get it done.
That's what I love about him. That's why, That's why I love to put in a rookie. So, hey.
That's how Kevin Shepard is. Mm-hmm. Kevin Shepard like that. He said, I'm not looking at stats. I'm talking about defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not looking at stats. He said, it's effort. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
that's it. Exactly. So you see the culture. You know what I'm saying? You see what's going on. So, yeah. And as Imorie always say, fuck the Packers. You know, he means
I never say fuck the Packers, first off. I never say fuck the Packers.
That's what he really means.
That's never what I said. You tried it. Nigga, no. Nigga. Nigga, don't play with me. What's up, bro?
Imorie, you my guy.
I love you too, man.
I love you.
Say it with me. FGB.
Fuck Lavon. Fuck you, bitch. Hey, fuck Lavon. Corey, finish your statement there, bro.
Oh, boy. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, that was it. That was on tell him because, like I said, with Ben Johnson, I can see it. Even on the sideline, you can see how he focused. He focused. Yeah. Ben Johnson gonna be all right.
Yeah, he is.
Ben Johnson gonna be all right.
And so, all right.
So need him to be all right.
So we've talked about the Vikings.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Dave.
I got one more question.
You can have asked as many questions you want. It don't matter.
Still on the Bears. I just want you to talk to me about your opinion about your stud receiver, your stud rookie receiver. Talk to me about him because he's making a one hell of a splash in the NFL right now. He's eating up DBs. He's, 20 receptions on 35 targets for almost 300 yards so far. It's almost as much as the rest of the receiving core. Talk to me about how as a Bears fan, how do you take in his emergence and what do you see for him as far as, do you see him being a Pro Bowl receiver, possibly in year 2? What is your take on the splash he's made so far in being a rookie in the NFL?
So now, when you say rookie, are you talking about Burden the third, or are you talking about wrong?
No, I'm talking about rookie. I'm talking about Odunze year 2. Sorry, talking about you. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
yeah.
Rome Odunze, he is. You hit all the stats. I can't say any stats right now because you hit them. Right now, him and I looked at him as the number 1 receiver. He took over DJ Moore as the number 1 receiver for the Chicago Bears, not just because of the targets, it's one of the reasons is because of development together. DJ Moore, I low key, I can say been pulled from number one because he was number one with Justin Fields. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He was a number
Yeah.
one. He was number one with Caleb. You see what I'm saying?
Great point.
So
Great point.
and when they pulled him, and when I mean pulled, not just yanking him out the game, it's just because of the comforted Caleb was with him in targets and completing those targets.
To be fair, though, there's
So
definitely something to be said about him and Caleb's riffs and confidence. I mean, we talked about it on the show last season. There was definitely some tenacity between DJ Moore and Caleb Williams with where the ball's being placed, his lack of targets, everything. Do you think that Ben Johnson doesn't give a fuck about this? Like you said, status. I think that the reason he got pulled is because Caleb didn't fuck with him. And Caleb was building connections with else people, which is an unorthodox, thing from a coaching cycle. But go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, so all right, let's rewind it back. Corey would not understand what I'm talking about. Let me tell you this: DJ Moore is more like a Saint. Let me see. He's like Saint Brown. And let me tell you why. When it comes to placement on the field, he's not like what's his name? James Williams. Who's your Williamson for
Jameson Williams?
Yeah. He's more like Rome. He out there on the island. That's Rome. Now, if you look at how St. Brown line up closer to the line of scrimmage most of the time, or he's motioning across. You see what I'm saying? That's DJ Moore, even to the point where DJ Moore became a running back. You see what I'm saying? And he's getting carries. So that when you have a gadget guy, you can kind of plug that in. DJ Moore being a gadget guy and a
versatile,
a versatile number one, but not the direct number one. That's where comfort level for Caleb come in with Rome. Now, speaking of Rome is developing to be number one, the actual number one in his class. Like I said earlier, where this man, let me give you this stat. He has scored in every game. It's only 4 games. He scored in every game, and that's in his first 4 weeks of the season. It hasn't been done for Chicago Bears since Walter Payton. Oh, that's right. I got him on. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just want to bring that in there. But he's going to be Caleb's.
Do you think that, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you touched on something. Caleb Moore's offense at USC was an RPO-heavy offense. Do you think that there's something Ben Johnson's been scheming about not showing to the rest of the league as far as playoff time? Do you think that there's a use for DJ Moore in that kind of mindset?
Yeah. It is a use for DJ Moore. DJ Moore is the key. He is the key because reason I say that because when everything goes wrong, most quarterbacks rely on tight ends, right?
Most. Depends on what kind of quarterback you are, though. But
yeah, it depends what kind of quarterback. But most of them is a blanket. You hear the security blanket as the time. Security blanket. Right. So DJ,
when you can't go to the ball, you defer to checkdowns.
Yeah.
Exactly. DJ Moore is that. DJ Moore, when you throw to DJ Moore, you don't see DJ Moore dropping passes. You see what I'm saying? You see DJ Moore when Caleb runs out of the pocket, you see DJ Moore go to him or he be still. And Caleb drill it straight to him as a comfort blank, however you say it.
I get you.
So, yeah. But here's the thing. Most of the time when Caleb throws it to Rome, as we saying, Dave, when he throw it wrong, it's always on a route.
And he's always cooked the DB. Always cooks him. Always
cooks the DB.
Cooks him. And that's the thing. He cooks people. He cooks.
Yes.
He cooks. And that's the thing. Yeah. He wasn't cooking last year. This year, he's cooking because of the routes he's running, So.
But that's what I'm saying, though. He's doing that now. He's doing that now. What about when he becomes a veteran in 2-3 years? You see what I'm saying?
Well,
He's guaranteed Pro Bowler. By that time, you're shopping to put somebody as good as him on the opposite side of the field.
Mm-hmm. And Dave,
you know
to your point, that Pro Bowl status is starting right now. Because just imagine he get one touchdown a game, that's one, or every other game. Yeah. He's already set the bar for himself where he get national recognized.
You know,
and so
Lavon, even to push the point further, even to push it further, Dave, let's talk about your team. Who's going to match Justin Jefferson?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Are you sure?
Jordan Addison. I mean, he's just as fast. He's just as fast. His hands aren't as good as Justin.
Thank you. That's what it is. It's about hands. It's not about speed anymore.
He's big enough. He's big enough to go after those 50-50 balls.
Mm-hmm. That's why St. Brown #1 wide receiver in the league.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
You know, this is a perfect segue. This is a perfect segue. We've been talking about all y'all's teams. I want to talk about the Green Bay Packers for a second.
Go ahead, kick it.
And that's the thing is, I think that, like, dude, out of all of my faults with Matt LaFleur, I'll say this, and we'll end the segment, we'll go to the Lions. But, dude, here's my #1 concern. It's actually a concern and a positive at the same point in time, because the Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love, in the past 3 games, has played elite fucking quarterback football. Aside from that one pick he threw, dude, last week versus the Cowboys, that motherfucker balled out. Balled out. Our defense buried us. Here's my concern. And this is something that a lot of Packers fans are going to disagree with me with. A lot of people are going to think I might be, ahead of the curve. What I don't see is a clear hierarchy. Matt LaFleur's scheme, the plays he calls at the line, Jordan Love's level of range as far as audibles is way different from Aaron Rodgers as Matt LaFleur's quarterback as audibles. Because let's talk about this. Aaron Rodgers, when Matt LaFleur took over as head coach and Mike McCarthy was fired, crazy pivotal decision. We'd won a Super Bowl a couple years prior, and we're looking at this organization and we're like, what's next? Matt LaFleur comes in, and this is off of the 28-3 Falcons loss in the Super Bowl. Him and Shanahan were involved in that offense heavily. It was something that a lot of people were concerned about, And that first season was pretty good. Second season, got there, NFC Championship. Next season, almost got there. Next season, NFC Championship. You know what I'm saying? And so there's a precedent there. But my concern with Green Bay, especially in the grand scheme of receivers, is as far as injuries that tend to hurt our team the most, it's not derived of receivers being hurt. I mean, fuck. Christian Watson is the #1 wideout as far as deep balls and clutch games, but that motherfucker's made of glass. And it's pretty much why I think Matt LaFleur is playing a conservative game. And that's the thing that I'm noticing. Like, I can talk about all y'all's teams. All of y'all's concerns are derivative on how y'all play ball. My team's energy is concerned on who says how we play ball. And that's the thing too. It's like, and I've had a couple beers. I'm talking out of the side of my neck, but this is the real deal. This is our first NFC North podcast, so I'm gonna talk to the people in my division. Here's the thing. I think Jordan Love could be 3 times as consistent if he had more decisions to make and he had to suffer the consequences a little bit more. Because I think that every bad loss that the Green Bay Packers have had since he's been a starting quarterback, in the press conference, Matt LaFleur said it was my fault. And I think that some of those, instances were derivative of Jordan Love making a bad read, throwing a bad pick, fucking up a game here, trying to play hero ball. But the reason why is because Matt LaFleur is his head coach. Because you know who played hero ball and went to a Super Bowl and won it? Brett fucking Favre. And I think that that's something to be said because the Packers are notable. We've had, 30, 35 years of great quarterback play. Let's be objective here. Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love's, arguing, fighting first place and everything. But dude, mistakes are expected. The issue with this modern Green Bay Packers team and arguably the organization, excluding Ed Policy, who came in and fucked up everything. I love Mark Murphy for everything he did, but Ed Policy, was one of the pioneers behind, Goody making the aggressive moves to getting Michael Parsons. One of the things I think is that, our organization is tired of being not owned by someone, but still falling second to a team that just wants it more. And I think that there's a culture war with this team. Because, like, Lavon talks about Rome Odunze. And 1 year with Ben Johnson, I've seen the most fiery locker room footage from Chicago Bears in the past 8 years. Since I was able to, or excuse me, I'm 32, the past 11 years. Since I've been drinking beer, I've never seen them look in the locker room after a win and look dangerous. And I've been digging through all of the Packers media. I subscribe to the YouTube channel. I found every Lambeau affiliated, social media page on social media. And like, one thing that's not there is fire. Even when Matt LaFleur goes in, he's speaking articulately. Give yourselves a hand, blah, blah, blah. Fuck that. It's y'all whoop their ass. Let's fucking go. And it's like, dude, like, and I look at all three outside coaches, and I'm not saying this is a detriment. Maybe Matt LaFleur's intelligence will shine. Maybe it won't. But one thing I know that's guaranteed is all y'all outside coaches have a job next season. Mine doesn't. And I'm not seeing that same level of, aggression and ingenuity. Because to be real with you guys, I'm a musician. Lavon, you know me. You've seen me dick around here in my studio. Who plays anything on any of my recordings? Me. I play everything. I learned the guitar. I learned the bass. I learned the drums. I learned how to sing. I learned how to record them. I learned how to mix them. And I did that because I wanted to do that. Not because anybody was pushing me to. And that's the issue with the Green Bay Packers. They want to do it for their fans, but their coaching staff is just putting them in places to maybe succeed. Like Dan Campbell goes forward on 4th down. Dan Campbell's made the biggest positive change in the Detroit Lions history that I've ever seen in my lifetime in a couple of seasons.
Right.
Like, dude, Ben Johnson's been there 4 weeks.
Just the fan base as well.
Yeah, exactly. They all buy into it. Like with KOC. Dude, the Vikings, a lot of people count them out. Hell, last year, when they traded Kirk Cousins, they're like, oh, they're going to be ass. 15-2. The fuck? Even the Chicago Bears. Y'all had a terrible first season. But, like, this season, you guys are trending upward. We started off strong in my organization, and we're starting to plateau. That's what I don't want. Because I think that with the Green Bay Packers, with the Super Bowl trophy being named after Vince Lombardi, who's a notable Packers coach, Lambeau Field being one of the most reputable stadiums that me and Lavon are going to go to. I spent my hard-earned dollars to go because I want to buy into the history of my lineage. But also, our coaching mentality isn't matching our history. And that's what I think is wrong with the Green Bay Packers. We got to live up to our things. We're playing down to teams because we feel like we're going to beat them. Nah. Does Dan Campbell ever do that? Does KOC ever do that? No. They don't.
Ben Johnson don't do that.
Yeah, I wanted to say it, but, was yet to be proven. But, you know what I mean? But to be real with you guys, like, I'm not going to lie. I've been humbled this season more so than any season of my life. Because when the Michael Parsons trade came through weeks 1 and 2, I was like, everybody's fucked. And now I'm seeing, and like I'm diving into, the newsletters, all of the podcasts, Locked On Packers, the NFC North podcast thing. I'm watching everything. I'm watching Locked On Bears. I'm watching Locked On Vikings. I'm listening. And the one thing I hear from every other organization is passion. And the Packers fans is notable. Like, we're going to go to Lambeau, and they're probably going to treat us amazing. I know they're going to treat us amazing. Lavon, we're going to be trashed. We're going to be fucked up, and we're going to have the best times of our lives. But also, that's the exact same mentality Jerry Jones has about the Dallas Cowboys. Your fans are good because they want to be there. They're not there for wins. They're there because they want to support. I don't want to support. I want to fucking win. And I'm not seeing that from the Green Bay Packers. And, speaking objectively, like, and this show is long as hell. I don't give a fuck. But also, speaking objectively, that's why I'm so glad Davey came on the show, because now we can keep things in the rain. Because this division, all bullshit aside, runs the NFC. Just saying, it kind of does. It kind of runs the NFC. Like I'm just being real. It really does. And you know what I think? Absolutely. I think the fact that I spent $409 on a ticket, me and Lavon both, to go see the Packers and Bears play in Lambeau means I'm wearing my fucking ego on my sleeve. I'm gonna get fucked up, eat a bunch of bratwurst, not because I love this team, because I want to have fun. And if I'm there screaming, maybe a player will hear me. Maybe we'll get a Lambeau leap. Maybe I can do something, And that's what it's all about, dude. That's really what it's all about, dude. We've been going for a little second. We're going to take one more intermission, and then we'll come back to finish this out. Thank you guys for coming on and watching the show. We'll be right back. so welcome back to the Spike Podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure to have my guy Dave on here representing the Minnesota Vikings. I hope you guys have enjoyed the content. Obviously, everybody's talking shit. It's all fired up. But my boy Dave brought up an interesting premise in our last intermission, and he wanted to bring up a concept about sports betting because, it's a reputable thing in the NFL. A lot of teams are making a lot of questionable decisions. There's been some questionable defensive coverages, there's been some questionable ref calls. Dave, what was your initial premise?
Being a fan of football for years and years, watching how seasons play out, and comparing them to most recent seasons, it sticks out like a sore thumb. You can see a difference. To be specific, so the NFL has a contract with ESPN. ESPN has their own betting platforms, but the NFL itself decided to go ahead and make deals with multiple platforms. I'm talking like Caesars, MGM, Bet, whatever sports betting apps you use. Whatever. Yeah, Vegas has. They have exclusive contracts with them where the NFL sells them data on players, whatever it may be, so they can set their lines to make bets, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So essentially, the NFL profits directly off of sports betting. That being said, you start seeing that in actual games. I'll give you an example. Was it 2 weeks ago, I believe? CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb got injured. He had a high ankle sprain, right? They showed the replay of that high ankle sprain where literally his foot was like this and his leg was like in an L on the field. They took him out the game, right? They even stated it was a high ankle sprain. They put him in for one play in the second half.
One play, yeah.
Took him right back out. Why? For a player that was previously injured, season-ending injured, the season before, comes in, so he's injury-prone. You got to be careful with the man. He gets hurt. A severe injury on the field to the point where it looks excruciating when you see it in slow motion. And then for you to know that about the player as a head coach to be like, hey, get back out there. Why? That makes no sense. What is that? That's a clear example of Vegas negligence with your hands in the pot.
So let me ask you this question.
Why do you do that?
Do you think that
because
do you think that Brian
if you put him in for that one play, hang on.
Do you think that Brian Schottenheimer made the call? Do you think that Brian Schottenheimer, the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, made that call, or do you think it came from above him? That's the question.
I believe there was a phone call. I believe somebody tapped on his shoulder and said, "Hey, so and so said to do this." Mm-hmm. Because any coach in his right mind is not going to jeopardize his best offensive player. I think CeeDee Lamb is their best offensive player.
Yes, there's no question for sure. Yeah.
You put him in danger. You put him in danger like that. Now, what you ask yourself a question? Why would you put him in for one play? Because you put him in for one play in the second half, he doesn't get the DMP disqualification on sports betting. So so you betting on him doesn't go void. So he doesn't hit his line because he comes in for one play and gets right back out. You lose that bet. Vegas makes their money. They do it. They have multiple ways they do those types of things, whether it's manipulation with officiating or dumb plays like that, where it's like, hey, get him out there for one more play and then take him right back off just so we don't get this DMP. Or we're in the red zone and the running game's been working the whole game, but we're going to pass it. You see, those type of decisions where as a fan, you're sitting at home in front of the TV, you're like, why the fuck would you call that play? Or why would you, that makes no sense. When you think about that, 9 out of 10 times when you sit there and you ask yourself, how does that make sense? Vegas fans are you telling you it's in our best interest. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
That's all my point. It's not really a rant, but it's more like it pisses me off because it jeopardizes the foundation of the game. Mm-hmm. What is the future of this?
Yeah.
The future of this is that.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think that there's some sort of situational, convenience that player, that particular, play and situation you're talking about had to do with the Jerry Jones football team? Because if we're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones has more stakes from rights and streaming and everything. The Dallas Cowboys are the most profitable American sports organization. Like it's not even a question. Now, here's my question. The Dallas Cowboys haven't won any reputable, games, no championships in the past, 35, 38 years, some shit like that. How the fuck are they still making money? Do you think there's a correlation
still number
between
one.
that? They are, and it's not even close. We talked about it, I think, in week 1 or week 2 of the season. Dave, here's my question. You think that was a Jerry Jones call? Or do you think that was just a bad call?
That's tough to say. It's tough to say because we can all agree that Jerry Jones doesn't make decisions for the fans.
He does not.
Doesn't make decisions for the fans. He hasn't made decisions for the fans in a long time.
He has not.
Stephen A. called him out in the whole Michael Parsons situation.
Yeah, exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that being said, if somebody were to say, "Hey, do you think Jerry Jones is making these calls or calling down on the field and making these calls because he's working in the lines of what Vegas wants him to do because maybe they have a stake in Vegas odds that we don't know about." Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Because like I said, the NFL has a contract with different sports betting platforms. So it's in the NFL's best interest to manipulate games and outcomes in their favor. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's not far-fetched to me that the NFL does manipulate. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen these types of situations in the NBA. We've had players recently that have been banned from the league for sports betting, for shaving points, or jumping on the court and just like showing ass because they're trying to hit their unders to feed all their friends and families. Now, the reason why they're doing it is not malicious. All they have to do is basically miss a couple of shots, and all their family and friends are set. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If I was in that situation, I would consider doing that too. If I can guarantee that my family and my friends are set for life just by me shooting, putting a ball in the hoop, I would consider it. I would do it, but I consider it. And that's why I understand why some of these players are doing it. But through all this spiel about how it's a big situation about players sports gambling, the league itself is doing it. And nobody's saying anything about it.
It's perfect that you're phrasing it that way because I'm going to use that exact point. The fact that you said the league is doing it, I'm going to use that to segue into another point. So recently we just saw Tyreek Hill take the worst fucking injury I think I've seen on a receiver's foot. We've seen Malik Neighbors tear his ACL on MetLife Field. MetLife has claimed more high-profile players than any stadium in the past couple of years in the NFL. Do you think that there's a certain stigma behind the sports betting aspect of it? Fantasy football is fucked. My teams are fucked. Worthy was hurt. Fucking Eckler from Washington fucked up. My neighbors fucked up. My league is cooked. I've had to make crazy trades. I've had to do all of these things, and I don't have enough money on the line. Do you think that there's a league set precedent that makes the private investors of the National Football League make certain decisions behind closed doors? Because that's one thing about our league. We love football. We've all acknowledged that our teams have done questionable things, whether it's a drop in coverage, whether it's a bad play call. What is it? And Dave, you've been talking a lot. Lavon Lane, I want to take you this, and I'll ask you a particular question. Because one thing the Packers and Bears have is we have a standard history of tenacity. But also, at the end of the day, we treat each other well. We're not going to fight and murder each other in either of our games. My question is this. Why are the Bears now breaking through after the death of their owners of McCaskies? What do you think that has to do with it?
That's a great question. All right. Oh man, I'm gonna have to break this down in three.
Because that's what I'm saying. It's all about setting new precedents. I had to take it there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Honestly, one of the really things I've ever said, but whatever. Sorry.
Right. No, that's a great question, bro. Let me break it down in threefold. Number one, before we talk about the NFL, when this sports betting stuff started getting off the ground, when you say sports betting, not NFL betting, let's talk about. I'm an MLB guy. Let's talk about Pete Rose.
Almost states. Wait, you got a ring? Don't you got a ring in baseball in college?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave, you don't know this. Lavon's the dude. Lavon's the dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a spike to that. Take a spike to that. There we go. There we go. We recognize real wins. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, brother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, man, Imorie, that's a great question. So I'm gonna try to dock it down in 3 short answers.
Take your time. Take your time. Talk your shit.
When I'm number one, MLB was one of the major sports that started this sports betting stuff. It started with Pete Rose. Remember, Pete Rose got banned from MLB. Matter of fact, it was so bad in Major League Baseball, he got banned for life and to death.
Really?
Until death.
What was he blamed for? I don't know. I think it's before my time. I'm not a baseball guy, so.
So I don't know the specifics right now off of the betting. I just trust me on this one.
Okay.
He didn't come back in Major League Baseball when it comes to sports. Yeah, he was cooked until death.
Okay, so he fucked up. Okay, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? All right.
And there was still 50-50 on that.
What'd you say, Dave?
Even in death, but they was still 50-50 on that. They wasn't even sure they wanted to after he died.
That's a winner, if I was saying. That's all I'm saying.
So all right. That's the first part when it comes to sports betting. Now when we start diving into the NFL side of it, this gets a little bit deeper into what Dave was saying. Are we actually trying to protect the foundation of football, or are we actually trying to protect the shield of football?
What's the shield of football?
Which one are we doing?
What is the shield of football for the people?
The NFL symbol.
Okay.
Which one are we trying to actually protect? Because the foundation of football, we could take that back to our days, Imorie. We could take that back to the 1920s.
Yeah, we can.
You see what I'm saying?
But also, see, Lavon, I play devil's advocate. I'd say they're trying to protect the profits. The what they're selling is protecting one or the other, but the profits are what's motivating the NFL. At least from my perspective,
exactly. I was gonna say now that's the current day. When you say the profits, that's the current day, which is the brand, the shield of today's model.
Cool.
And so, what are we trying to protect here in NFL sports betting? However, now NFL is progressing, and you remember some states wouldn't allow betting. Remember, I was in Georgia at one point.
I know.
They wasn't allowed betting. I put in my home state. They said we can't do it. So I'm like, dang, I gotta put Georgia, which I'm not a permanent resident, to allow betting for these particular entities, which gains financial money access for the NFL. I had to put in a whole nother state. So now it got to the point where majority, if not all, 50 states are allowing NFL or financial betting for the NFL, the shield, the brand, not the foundation. The foundation is changing.
Yeah.
The corporation is changing. So I like the current stance, but without changing the old school foundational stance.
So with that being said, why are you guys winning now without the McCaskies? Take it back to my question.
Okay, all right. So let me pick back to the McCaskies. Let me tell you why. You know what helped us? NFL financial betting. What happened with that? When the original owner, the original owner is George Halas. He one of the ones helped start the NFL.
Exactly who George Halas is. Yeah.
All right, exactly. Now, his daughter is, of course, Virginia McCaskey, right? This is a family-owned business. However, with the passing of Virginia McCaskey, and we have Warren, who's our president of the Chicago Bears, he took over. Now the books had opened. Now, what I'm talking about, the books are open. I'm talking about the financial books. Now, why do you think we decide to spend this year on, even though it don't show in the stats? Well, why do you think
Y'all's
in
offseason was
finances?
high dollar as fuck. It was crazy.
Exactly.
It was crazy.
Exactly.
Y'all picked up everybody. Like, and it was like, dude, I got tired of it. Off-season shows, he was like, the Bears got this ticket, the Bears. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what are we doing? You know, I was like, what the
Exactly.
fuck?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We were like this. Why? Why we wasn't like this? Because Virginia was operating old school. She didn't allow that to happen. Now Virginia gave it to her son, which this is a family-owned business.
Mhm.
This is an $8 billion business, family-owned. So now the son's like, if we want to win, and let's dedicate this to my mother, which his mother dedicated to his father, we have to open up the playbook to get updated with you all.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get updated with you all. So that's what we're going to do. We're finna spend on this money because now we have a number one pick in Caleb Williams. We just spent money, almost $15 million on Ben Johnson a year. So we have to go ahead and profit it off. Let me tell you this. We trying to get this new stadium right quick, right? We have to really go to the public community to get funding for this new stadium.
Also,
we had to have
Lavon, let's be real. Let's be real though, Lavon. We talked about this offline. This isn't a football thing. Chicago is in a very tense state right now. There's a lot of things going on in Chicago. And that's the thing though, it's like, I mean, like, if we're going to look objectively, I live in Atlanta. I'm 2 miles from downtown. Dave, you never been to my place. Also, if you ever come to Atlanta, you got a place to stay. But, like, dude, Lavon's been here. I live fucking 2.5 miles from Midtown. Like, I'm in a I'm inside the perimeter. I'm right in the middle of the shit. You know, one thing that everybody I meet in here, if I say, rise up, every motherfucker, if you're a gangster or a homeless nigga or whatever, will be like, down. And I say that, I'm a Packers fan, you know. I wear my jersey sometimes, but, you know, sometimes I'm going to take advantage. But it's like, dude, to have your community believe in your football team is peace. And at least to a certain degree. On Sundays are the least MSHBs ever because wives are like, this nigga watch football, let me leave this nigga alone. You know what I'm saying? And it's the beauty of things. But, you know, we've been talking for a while. It's been a long-ass episode. And I literally want to take the time, because we're going to wrap things up. Dave, thank you so much, bro. Like, Dave, I think Lavon loves you. I think Corey loved you. The audience is definitely going to love you, but I'm so appreciative, dude.
We do.
So, Dave.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to kick it to you first.
I will say this.
Go ahead.
When you asked me to join the show, of course, I told you I was excited, but I went ahead and did some research on you guys and watched a couple of your previous podcasts. And I'm not gonna lie, as a fan, from a fan standpoint, you got something good here, man. You guys keep it fresh, you keep it funny, but at the same time, you know, we're talking stats. We're saying things that people at home are discussing. You know what I mean? On a regular basis. So something like this, I don't see how anybody cannot resonate and relate to this show. You know what I mean? So that being said, it's an honor to be a part of this, and I really feel like this is something big that's going to get bigger. I'm just honored to be a part of it, guys. So thank you very much.
No, fuck that, Dave, dude. Dave, like I said, you and me were friends before I even thought of this. Like, and Dave, you know me. You've known me as a musician. You've seen me shred. You've seen me do a bunch of crazy shit. But like, me and Lavon, when we talked, he didn't know who I was. You know, and you're kind of bridging a lot of my history creatively to this show. And to be real, the fact that you're a Vikings fan and I'm a Packers fan and we haven't talked about it to this point is honestly great. Like I said, this weekend, I'm going to be in town. I'm going to see you. All of our audience is going to be like, what the fuck did Dave and Lex do? You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. But legitimately, you are more than welcome on this show as often as you want. But legitimately, I'd like to thank all of you. Corey, Papa took it easy this show, Dave. I'm just letting you know. Just letting you know. Just wait until he's on the opposite side of the scale. But also, that's the thing, dude. We all respect each other.
I feel the energy. I feel the vibe.
He was chilling. You haven't felt him yet. Trust me. He'll be like, and he'll pull a balloon out of his ass and pop it with your name and your number on it. He'll be like, damn. Like you don't know. I'm telling you, you don't know. But for real, guys, as our audience, thank you guys so much for buying into the Spike.
Division game. I want to see the energy.
Oh, dude, it'll come. It'll come. So legitimately, though, thank you guys so much for being on the Spike. My name is Lex Callahan, representing the Green Bay Packers. I'm joined by Corey Thompson, representing the Detroit Lions, Mr. Lavon Lane, representing the Chicago Bears, and our new resident member, Mr. Dave, representing the Minnesota Vikings. We love you all. Welcome to the Spike. Season's just beginning. We'll see you in the next episode. Have a good night.